But at the same time, I think that if we're gonna if you want an accurate or a true picture of the unemployment rate, I think that you would have to put an asterisk next to 20 and 21, or not use those other or go right to 19.
Okay. All right, everybody. Uh, this is Real Brothers. Welcome to Real Brothers. Welcome to our digital neighborhood. I'm TL, and that's my man Stace.
What's
And
up,
we're
y'all?
trying out our new background here, and we want to see if we can get some feedback on it.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Anyway, so we got a few good topics for you tonight. And hey, Stace, why don't you tell us what we're working with tonight?
All right. So before I go on, first I'd like to say to everybody that is acknowledging the holidays, happy holiday. We hope you enjoyed it. Even if you don't celebrate the holidays, the typical holidays, I hope you use this as an opportunity to hang out with your family and friends and your loved ones. So again, happy holidays if you
Yeah,
celebrate. If
happy
not,
holidays.
you
We've
know,
agreed.
all
Happy
right,
holidays.
absolutely, absolutely. All right, we got a couple. We got 4 topics, and as I read these topics down, Terry's going to put the link out, which will give you the opportunity to click on the link and join us live and discuss these issues. All right, so we got 4. I don't mean to be a pain, but we got 2021, the look back. And actually, Nike, it was brought to my attention when we figured out this 2021, the look back. This
Right.
is the last show of 2021 because next Sunday is the new year. So
Right.
along with the look back, we can also include in looking forward. All right, we have Are You Prepared? And lastly, we have Is Space on Your Bucket List? All right, you got those, Nike? I don't
Yeah,
mean
I
to
got 'em.
complain, but 2021, the look back and look forward. Are you prepared? And is space on your bucket list?
Hey,
All right.
before we get into those, I was just wanted to, before I jump right in, do you got a random or anything like that you wanted to hit up, or we can jump right into it?
Actually, I do, Nike. But first of all, the Eagles won. Go Birds,
Eagles.
right?
No, did they win?
Yeah, they won. Yeah, 34 to
They got.
10.
I thought they got knocked out of the playoffs. I
No,
thought.
we won. Well, maybe they did, but they won today. The Eagles won today.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I ain't
And I'm
see the
only
game.
saying it because they won, because if they lose, I'm off the wagon. So, so yeah, go Birds.
All right, I hear you.
All right. So my random, all over Facebook, Nike, all over Facebook and social media, I guess I should say. Jay-Z. Everybody was talking about what Jay said that nobody can stand on the stage with him, and then Nas dropped something last night or Christmas night or something like that. And I listened to a few cuts. But did you? What do you think about that, Nike? Jay-Z said that nobody out there could stand on the stage with him in a versus. What do you think about that? Yeah, space.
The only one that I think could probably stand on the same stage with Jay would probably be Nas. Other than that, I mean, this bruh been banging bangers since
Bangers.
the 90s. I'm talking
That's
about
true.
like every summer.
Right.
Just
That's
think
right.
about it. Every summer since the
A banger.
I'm talking about like platinum shit, like bangers. You know what I'm
And I
saying?
think what you just said, Nike, was the key. Because people were bringing up a lot of artists that have been in there for a while. But the difference is what you just said. I think Jay has been consistently, at least on every product that he puts out there, there's been more than one banger. I mean,
Right.
And that doesn't happen often.
And he's such a good businessman with his shit too. That's what I respect about Jay more than the music.
Right.
Just the business chops that he got. I mean, all of us, former hustler got business chops, right? You know what I mean? Because hustling is just the same as any other business.
Yeah, you figure it out.
But Jay, he got it to where he can move with the best of them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? Like he's a sharp business guy. Like I got to give props to him about that.
Actually, I just so happened to watch The Harder They Fall last night. I mean, a good quality, well-written movie. I mean, it was a good movie. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, the acting was good, the dialogue was good. You know,
Talking
it
about the
was a
Western joint, right?
Western joint. Yeah, Idris
Yeah, that's
Elba.
Jay Z joint. Yeah,
Right, right. I say that because you talk
that thing
about
was good.
it was good. It was a good movie. It wasn't. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think we are now starting to put out quality product. You know, we're
We've
starting to
been
see that
putting out
now.
quality product. The thing
Right.
is, we haven't had the platforms, or we had
Correct.
limited
Or
platforms in
resources.
order
Right.
to put them out.
But I say that because you talked about how of a good businessman he is, you know, and that's being echoed with that
He's
movie. You
shrewd,
know, it was
man. Like
good.
people sleep on Jay too. That's another thing. He's shrewd, and he let people. He said it on one of his. He got these motivational joints.
Who,
He's
Jay?
like, yeah. And on one of these joints, he was like, sometimes you just have to sit back and let other people make their moves, and then you can decide what's the best move for
Right.
you.
That makes
You know what
sense.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
But
And
like you
he was
said, that's
talking
being
about how he
shrewd.
walked away from deals that could have made him millions.
Right.
But
Right.
then, he turned around and made even more money just by,
Right.
standing his ground. So yeah, I
Absolutely.
think Jay, yeah,
Yeah.
he not just the verses, but just in general, man, he got his shit together. You know what I mean?
You know, it's funny, Nike, and I was talking about that. I think it was earlier today. And what you just said though, man, it is what I appreciate about him. Now I'm a fan of his as a rapper, but it's a different level of appreciation for brothers like him, even like LeBron. You know, I was never the
Right,
biggest LeBron
right,
fan as far as basketball, but the things that he does off the court, it's a different level of respect and appreciation.
right,
I appreciate what they do. You know,
right,
I always talk about how we have to get our infrastructure together where we have people like them that can make moves and affect other people, and they're
right,
doing it. You know,
right.
so it's a
And
different level of
that's what I
appreciation.
respect about them. They
Right,
don't talk about it. You know what I
right,
mean?
right, right, right,
They're
right,
not, you don't see them all, all in the mix talking this and that,
right.
this and that.
I'm gonna do
When
this. I'm
you
gonna do
hear
that.
about them, you like, damn,
It's
they did
done.
what?
Right,
You
right,
get what I'm
right.
saying?
In the
Like
credits. Yeah,
right. And they not
right.
looking for the accolades and all that. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
do a lot of
yeah.
behind the scenes stuff. So that,
Right, right.
I dig that about them.
Yep. Somebody said that I was late to seeing it, but it was good. Yeah, I just saw it last night, and it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. And the little
Yeah, that
plot
thing was
twist at the
popping.
end was really good. All
Yeah.
right, so Nike, you ready for these topics, man?
Yeah, let's get into some of these, man. Let's get to work.
All right, now the link is out there.
Let's get
So
to
we're
work
gonna put
enlightening our people. Let me put the link out there again.
okay, we're gonna put the link out. I'm gonna read these topics. All right, and if you want to join us, click on the link and please get on. All right, here we go. All right, Nike, you choose where you want us to go. I don't mean to be a pain, but 2021, the look back. Are you prepared? And is space on your bucket list? Where you want to go, Nike?
Uh, just because it was on it was supposed to be one of our topics last week. Let's go ahead and go with the I don't mean to be a pain, but
Okay. So what does that question mean to you? I mean, where did what is your feedback on
that
that?
was actually your question. So why
Right.
don't you go ahead and enlighten us on
Okay.
what that's all about, and then I can get mine together
All
to
right.
see
Fair
what
enough.
direction I need to go in with it.
What I find challenging, Nike, is when you're dealing with loved ones and people that you interact with, especially loved ones. Let's go with that. You find that it's a fine line between um, giving your opinion and giving your quote unquote advice and feedback versus crossing that line from becoming a pain. You know, and it's a challenge because you see things being done and you care and you want to speak up about it, but where is that line? Where is that line where you need to say, okay, you know what? I shouldn't say anything. You know, where is that line? What do
Right.
you think, Nike? Or do you
Well,
always say something?
um, yeah. Well, it depends on what side of it you're on, right? So when I was younger and I was out in the street and all wild, I was on the other side of that where, I had people telling me, "Yo, man, you need to chill."
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Don't lead his
Fucking,
job.
you was one of them people.
That's
Matter
what I
of
just
fact,
said.
like,
I
yo,
said
man,
that. Don't lead his job. I don't know if you remember that.
you wildin', son. You need to.
Yo, that was me, dog. I remember.
Yeah, you was one of them people, man, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean? But now as a dad, and a contributing member to society, you have to. I'm on the other side of that. You know what I'm saying? So I need to. Kind of. I don't want to be a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying?
What you
That
mean?
makes sense. Like
No,
I
what
don't
do you
want to.
mean?
Like so, if I tell my sons not to be in the street,
Right.
I'm only telling them. I'm not telling them that to be a hypocrite. I'm telling them that because I've been through what they get ready to go through, or
Right.
what they're going through. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
especially my son that passed, he was. I have to admit, he was. Apple didn't fall far from the tree on that one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And I used to always try to tell him, like, Marmar, you wasn't. First of all, you wasn't raised like this. Second of all, you don't have to do the things that you do, because I already did that.
Right.
Not so that you wouldn't have to, but you just don't have to.
You
know
don't
what I
have
mean?
to. Right. Right.
Right.
So I mean,
And,
so you never really. I mean, again though, but well, now somebody said when that person tells you, "I heard you," does that mean that when that person tells you they heard you, you stop? Or what if they continue? Because I'm in the same boat. Nike. I
that will tell you if they heard you or not. Like,
see,
they
but if
can
they
tell you
continue
they
to
heard
do
you,
it,
but if they
right.
heard you and they still doing the same thing that they want to do, or the same thing that's
But I don't think you can stop. I don't think you can stop though,
unconstructive.
Nike. Now, because one of the things I say is that if a person sees you doing something that's detrimental to you and they don't say anything, do they really care? I mean, and
Right.
and you do have to, beat that drum. You have to be consistent, and you have to be that nag, right? But so is there no line though? Do you just, as when you see it, you just have to say it? I wish that person would come on when they said they see that when you see the person when they say they got you or something. Well, that was shice.
Right. That's nice.
But again, I just don't think. I don't think you can stop, Nike. I think as long as you see that.
You don't think you can stop talking to the person?
Yeah, no, I don't think you can stop speaking up about it.
You can't. Because I remember, like, with my son all the time. It was to the point where he wouldn't even answer my calls anymore. You know what I mean? Because it was like,
right,
Pop,
yeah,
I'm good.
yeah,
Like, I'm
right,
good.
right,
It's like, yo, man, take it from me, bro. You ain't good. You know what I mean?
So there is no line then. I mean, I guess what we're saying is that when you see those activities, whatever it is, you continue to speak up on it. Now, I guess maybe the trick is to try to find different ways to say the same thing, to try to reach that person, but you're never going to stop. So that there is no line,
right?
But then let me ask you this then. If the person is no longer hearing you and they're saying, like Shai said, when the person say, "I heard you," but they continue to do what they're doing and they're not answering your phone, how effective is that then?
Well, then if they're not answering the phone, then you have to either try to find other ways to communicate with them, or it's really nothing you can do to a certain extent. If they're not willing to communicate with you, or they feel they have all the answers already.
Oh man.
That's also a part of being a young person. Like, sometimes, certain people learn in different ways, right? Some people learn by experience. Some people learn by seeing other people do stuff. You know what I mean? By example. Some people, you can talk to. So
and
it all depends on the person.
And I get that. Now, Carla said you can only encourage and set a positive example and hope that your children, the young people, will follow. And you know what, though, and that's the challenge, because and you're right, Nike. Some people, you have to let them learn those hard lessons. But that's the frustrating part, because you see it coming, and you can help. You can help a lot of times, but especially when that person shuts down the communication, then you find, like, personally, I find myself, it almost becomes a third rail, because I find it more important to try to do things to keep the person around, so that you can show them, so you will, it's almost like you avoid the topics, but that's no good.
That's no good either. You kind of have to let them experience the life that they got to, like I said, sometimes it takes that for people to, realize you have to let them live so they can, experience life the way it actually is and not the way they think it is. You know what I'm saying?
Then if something goes wrong, you wind up kicking yourself in the ass saying, could I
should
have
done
done more?
Right. I'll never get rid of that guilt.
No, I mean,
like,
that's,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to die with that guilt. Like, I have therapy for that shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I could have did more. Like, there's like three things in my life that I absolutely wish I could do differently. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to my son.
Right.
Like, it's just a whole lot that could have been different. That if I would have had been more forceful and been more. I just live with a lot of guilt, man. I just put
it's funny.
I don't
Like,
want to go into detail about it right now,
and I don't regret many things either. But yeah, you're right. It's the kids, man. It's the kids kids are what makes you, have regrets. And I don't regret many things, but my regrets, evolve around my kids. And that's not to say that everything else is perfect. I'm not saying, what they say, unfortunately, that's the way parents feel so sad. And you're right. That's that. Who said it? Was that Shice again? That's what, and you can't.
That was Carla.
Okay, and you can't relay that. You can't make your kids understand that you're not trying to nag. You're only trying to help.
Right.
But yeah, that's tough.
You still have to, when you get your little chances here and there, so you still have to plug away when you can. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that.
But I think the thing that you said that kind of drives the point home is that, to a certain extent, you have to let them live, because you can't live for them. So you kind of have to.
But when it blows up in their face, you also have to be there for them. You
Pick it up. That's right.
You also have to be there, no matter what it is, because
no matter what. That's right.
No.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, like no matter what it is, you got to be there for them. And
it's funny. And that's one thing that my mom told me. She was like, Stace, all you can do is let the person know, let the kids know that you're there. That's all that you can do. Just let them know that you're there.
And when they fuck up, don't turn your head on them.
Right.
You know what I mean? When they fuck up, hey, you fucked up before. I fucked up before.
Absolutely.
Let them fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all good. It's life. Yeah. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying?
All right. This person says, yes, everything is good in your children. I'm thankful they listen. Everything is good with our children. I'm thankful they listen. Okay. Yeah. That's. I mean, and that's, man. That's good when you can say that. That's good when you can say that. Some kids listen, and some of them, it takes more to make them listen or to get them to listen. So
Right.
But all right. So you ready to move on, Nike?
Yes, please. Let's move on.
Like, so they come back to you. I agree with that. I agree with that
man,
totally.
Let's
okay. All right. I don't. Okay. 2021 to look back. Are you prepared? Now, Kim asked the question when we say, "Are you prepared?" We're gonna have to let them know what we're referring to. Are we prepared? And then lastly, is space on your bucket list? So don't forget, Nike, if you're gonna go with "Are we prepared?" you're gonna have to talk about what you mean as
Okay.
far as are we prepared for what? But where do you want to go?
I would like to save 2021 a look back for last, since
Okay.
that'll be the closing of our last show of the year.
Okay.
So let's go with, I guess, are you prepared?
Okay. Okay. So you got to give a little background to that.
All right, so we were discussing, I know you always talking about my tin hat and
10
all
hat.
this bullshit.
There
And
you go.
I mean, you're gonna make people think that I'm like some kind of crazy,
People know.
lunatic or some
Nah,
shit. But
I think people know.
I got inside information. So I try to, like,
You have a
put as much.
perspective.
No, I
You have
got
a
inside
perspective.
information. I've had.
What do you mean, like
See,
factual?
that's the shit I'm talking about right there.
Okay, all right,
Like
let's go ahead.
That's the shit I'm
Go ahead.
talking about
All right,
right
go ahead, put it
there.
out there. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead, put it out there, Knight. Put it out there.
All right.
What are we talking about?
What I'm talking about, what our conversation was, I was asking my brother Stace, like, what would he do, and if society broke down, right? Because there's a lot of civil unrest, there's a lot of changes coming down the pike as far as the COVID goes, as far as the new economy goes, as far as the new currency goes, as far as the new laws and situations are going to be laid out. So my point is, I assume that there will be a lot of fallout from this. Like, and when I say fallout, what I mean is civil unrest.
Mhm.
So what I'm asking is, are people ready for that civil unrest? Are you prepared? What are you prepared for
if that happens?
Worst case scenario. Or what are you prepared to do in order to stop the worst case scenario? Either one of those. You know what I mean?
Well, now, okay, to take the last part, what are you prepared to do to stop? I mean, if you're talking about civil unrest when it's the survival of the fittest, you basically talking about fighting for your life.
Well,
I mean, yeah, you talking about
it could go either way.
The total breakdown of society. You talking about fighting for your life.
Right.
So at that point, your balls are to the walls. It's whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. But that's
what does that mean?
I mean, whatever, Knight, whatever. If you don't, if like I said, if it's survival of the fittest,
you ain't gonna be able to go up to a group of people saying whatever it takes.
Come on, Knight.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
If it's survival of the fittest, if somebody's coming to take yours, you do whatever it takes to defend yours. Whatever it takes. I mean, what? How do I gotta explain
that? Look like, Stace?
You fighting for survival, Knight. What does fighting for survival looks like? What do you want? What are you trying to get at? Okay, what? What are you trying to get at?
So, okay. Well, I guess what I'm saying is,
because that's the extreme. I mean, that's the extreme. That's the farthest. You're talking about the total breakdown of society. That's the farthest end of that question.
That extreme, but yeah.
Okay,
but
so
even that.
Well, then I just answered that. That. If you talking about the survival, fighting for your survival, that's balls to the walls, whatever it takes. That's killing to protect yours.
What do I keep trying to get you to do?
So you talking about buying a gun?
Right?
Buying a gun, arming up.
Yep.
Okay, well, I don't have a gun, so I would have no gun to shoot. So we got to put that to the side. So everything else short of that is what my action would be to protect me and mine from the total breakdown of society. Everything short of shooting a gun, because I don't own a gun. Everything short of that. So
if somebody came to your crib with a gun or came to rob you, you saying that
answer falls into that category. Anything of shooting them is what I'm gonna do. That means whatever. So now you address that question. So you got a gun, you shoot what? I mean, where you going with it?
Well, I'm just saying, I've always been on you to, not just you, but black people in general need to strap up.
Mm-hmm. For the total breakdown of society. Now, everything
not
else,
even just for the total breakdown of society, Stace.
See, but
protecting your property, protecting
that's
your
the total
body.
Breakdown on Knight. But Knight, when you talking about protecting your property, that means that somebody is coming and attempting to take yours. That's the total breakdown. Anything other than that, you still have institutions. You're talking about the breakdown of like I said, no one's there to defend you. You know, we survival of the fittest. That's what you're talking about. That's why I said that's the extreme.
It doesn't have to be that extreme for you to have to defend yourself.
Okay, what
really
other instance can it be where somebody's gonna knock on my door to just start running in my crib and taking what I have and
not just knock on your door, but you don't think how bad the economy is getting and all right, let's say there's another Great Depression, which we're not far from that right now, right?
What, a Great Depression?
We are not far from another bubble busting depression.
Now, okay, now where you get that from? Why you think we're not far from a?
Look at the financial shows and stuff like that. And market.
What was the last bubble that burst? What was the last
2008.
bubble? Right? Were people knocking on the door to? I know, but was that a Great Depression? No,
it wasn't a Great Depression, but it was a
recession. It was a deep recession.
Yeah, right.
But Mike, do you know what helped the pull to end the Great Depression? Do you know what helped the pull to end that?
Yeah, government resources.
Meaning, what do you mean by that? What did the government do? What did the government do to help?
That's when welfare was created.
Correct. So my point is that I'm not saying that a world depression is impossible, because I would never say never, but the things that were learned from the 30s when the true Great Depression happened, there were things that were implemented to help avoid those things from happening again. Social spending, like you said, look at what we just went through with COVID. The government pumps money into the economy. Also, the other big thing that happened during the Depression that killed things was the run on a bank, meaning people started panicking and they went and started taking all of their money out of the banks. Now they have measures in place to avoid those kind of things from happening. So and again, I would never say never.
Right, that's FDIC insured. But if there was a run on the bank, what?
No, the FDIC just means that if you have a lot of money in the bank over $250,000, the government is insured. That's what that means. But what I'm talking about is a run on the bank and the stock market. That's why now, Nike, if the stock market drops a certain percentage within a certain amount of time, it freezes and the stock market is closed and they have a cooling off period. So again, I wouldn't say never that it's impossible, but it's going to take something else to happen for another Great Depression to happen. A recession.
It's like I told you last week, man. You have way too much faith in this system. You do.
You know what, Nike? See, but I just asked you a couple questions and your response.
Like what?
I asked you what would happen to make another Great Depression happen. You gave me the answer.
When the housing, okay, I'm gonna give you a scenario.
You mentioned the bubble.
Right, the housing market is going to crash again because they're doing the same exact thing they was doing the last time. History keeps repeating itself.
What do you mean? The same exact thing?
In 2000, from 2006 to 2008. The mortgages balloon. The prices of houses went up and up and up and up. Same thing is happening now. The price of do you know when you get wait. Do you know even to get a house built right now, they automatically add $30,000 to whatever your tax, whatever your house cost is, just for the wood because we're running out of wood.
Right.
Come on,
but listen to this though. The thing that happened the first time in 2008 is they were giving out loans, no doc loans. Remember, they would all you needed to do was have a job, and they would give you a loan regardless of credit, regardless of true income. No, they're not. No, they're not, Nike. No, they're not. They're not, Nike. They're not doing that. So what happened was the bubble when the bubble happened, people started being over leveraged and taking out loans on top of taking out all the taking out every drop of equity from a house, and then when one fell, the whole thing. That is not happening again. The reason why housing,
Stacey,
listen, let me tell you, Nike. The reason why housing is so expensive now.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me tell you. The reason why the housing is so expensive now is because there's so much money sloshing around. People have money. You have people from other countries coming in here with money and spending it. That's why people are being outbid for houses. So it's not that they're giving loans to people that can't afford it. It's so much money out here.
So you're saying they just raising that price of they just raising the price of housing just because it's more money to be had.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Now, and part of that is inflation. Part of that is inflation. We can't say that doesn't exist.
I would say that most of that is inflation.
But no, most of that is, like I said, because there's so much money sloshing around in the economy now. But it's a far cry, but Nike, it's a far cry from 2008. Different scenario totally.
It's a different scenario because the market hasn't crashed yet.
But the fact still remain, Nike, that even if the housing market corrects itself, it's not going to be just a crash.
One thing I'm glad of is that these shows are recorded, because we can look back. We're gonna look back on these, and I'm not even gonna say I told you so.
Right. No, and you're right, Knight, and you're right. And I'm not saying, because I do believe that there is going to be a correction. I do believe that, but I don't think it's gonna be a total crash like it was the last time. Not as a result of housing. That's what I'm saying. Is it going to correct itself? Yeah, I believe so. I think that the market is high.
It's not going to be. I didn't say it's going to be because of housing, but the housing market is going to crash with everything else that crashes.
Now, okay, so bring it back to where we started.
Look at you're in retail, right?
Right.
You see that the shelves aren't being stocked like they used to.
Well, they are now, actually. It's been a lot better. It's a lot better, Mike. As you just said, I'm in retail. I mean,
all right, okay.
Question. Are there some products that are tougher to get? Yes, but it's not. It's not like it was. It's not like it was.
Everything's back online now, right?
I just said there are some products that are still a challenge to get, but it's not like it was a couple months ago. Because remember, there were things that were done. Because as we mentioned in the last show, that you had a lot of ships that were off docked in on the West Coast that they couldn't get the products off. They went to these big retailers and said, look, we need you to work round the clock, and they've done it. So they've cleared out a lot of that bottleneck. If you remember, they thought this Christmas was going to be terrible because people weren't going to be able to get anything. It didn't turn out as bad as they thought it was going to be. It didn't, Ike. It didn't. Even looking at the deliveries of the major delivery, UPS and FedEx and Amazon, they're kind of on track.
I can tell you that my sons work for delivery service. They drive trucks for delivery service,
and they busy.
And he said this was the slowest Christmas season for deliveries at where he works ever, because. Right. He was at a point a couple of weeks ago where he was working like 1 or 2 days a week.
As a truck driver?
Yes.
Wow.
So I say we got two different perspectives or something, man. Like, I don't know where you asked me the question. I don't know. We just know different people, or we living on different planets, or what the fuck is going on? But
as you said, like I'm there every day. I'm in retail. I'm there every day, and I saw it when it started getting lean, and I heard what the concerns were, and we were all concerned about it, and it's not like it was, and it's not like it was, and it's not in the same direction where it was headed even a couple months ago. There's a difference.
You're just saying that it's getting better, it's not getting worse.
Is correct. I can go with that. It's on the upside versus on the predicted downside, the downslide.
All right. Well, maybe we'll go with that. But I know for a fact that this. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, we done hit that in the ground a little bit.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
So we got two more. We got. You said you want to do 2021. You want to do that last.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got? Is space on your bucket list? What do you think, Nike? Well, first of all. Is space on your bucket list? Where did that come from, or what do we mean by that?
Well, you notice all the billionaires are trying to get to space.
Mm-hmm.
And that just got me thinking, like, why is that? What's this big rush to get to space when you got all these people here on the planet that could benefit from some of that money that they spending on that bullshit?
Mm.
You know how many people you could feed with the cost of a rocket?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, I mean, you a billionaire, you can do what you want. You know, you can have all kind of toys, do whatever you want. And I know they're trying to have space travel and all that as for tourism and to colonize other planets and all this and that. But how are we gonna colonize another planet when this planet is still fucked up?
What do you mean? How are we going to colonize? I think
like they're talking about colonizing Mars and colonizing the moon and all this shit. But you know, you got colonies. You trying to build colonies in space, but you got people right here that ain't doing well. You know what I mean? Like, how about we take care of the people with some of them billions of dollars? Why don't you pay your fair share of taxes? You know what I mean? And help the people that's, you know what I mean, here on Earth.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Knight, and this is I just have a question. So let's say Bezos, right?
Right.
I do agree, and I personally, I think there should be a wealth tax. Let me just put that out there. I think that, you shouldn't, the wealthy people like that should be their taxes should be based on wealth and not income. So that'll take everything into consideration. I should be paying more
taxes than Bezos, right?
Correct. So let me just put that out there. But then the other side, and this kind of goes back to what you said. Let's say, and I don't know the exact numbers, so I'm just going to throw something out there. Bezos hires thousands and thousands and thousands of people, I'm sure. So that means there are thousands and thousands of families that he is helping. And I'm assuming that he also does millions and millions of dollars in charity. Right, that's an assumption.
You said there's thousands and thousands and thousands of families that he's helping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or all these people helping him to secure wealth.
Both. I mean, both. You have a job, right? Does your job help you?
Yeah, my job helps me. Yeah.
And your job is making money off of you also, right? So it's a win-win, right? Okay. So
not a win-win when they, you know how much. Well, I can't even.
Right, exactly. We can't. I mean, that's a different conversation. That's, should we all make more? Yes, but you're there because your job, you're able to get what you need from your job. Because if you didn't, you would leave. So therefore, it's a win-win on both sides. So again, Bezos is helping thousands and thousands and thousands of families, and I'm assuming he does an awful lot in charity. So, I mean, he's worth $150 billion. If he wants to spend $3 billion to go to the moon, I mean, what? I mean,
it's his money. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not saying you can't do what you want with your own money, but
to say that you're spending this money to go to space and we have all these people here to help. I mean, what is his obligation? I guess maybe that's a better question.
What is his obligation?
What is his obligation? If he's helping these thousands of family and he does all this stuff in charity and he's worth $150 billion and he spends $2 billion to go to space, should he not do that? He should just do more. What is his obligation?
He can do more. Yeah, he can.
We can always do more, but what is his obligation? At what point do we say, okay?
That's the thing. So their obligation as human beings, right? Just humanitarian efforts should be their priority.
But we've already established that, he does a lot.
What does he do?
Well, we just said he helps thousands and thousands and thousands of families with his employees, right? They get paid. Now, we're not talking about whether it should be more or not, but he helps, because if he wasn't helping them, they wouldn't be there.
Right.
And I'm sure, like I said, he does, and we could probably look this up. I'm sure that he does millions and millions of dollars in charities and all those kind of things. So if he spends $2 billion of his $150 billion to go to space, so you saying when is enough? Are you saying he shouldn't spend $2 billion he should do even more, because then you can also argue the fact, Nike, is that when they do these things like go to space, I mean, there are also things that are involved with that. You're talking about exploration. You're talking about jobs in science. You're talking about a new industry. Right. It's almost like he spent $1 billion creating a new airplane, but that's a new industry that could turn into a new set of jobs. You know what I mean? I mean,
they could turn into a new set of jobs. That's true, but not a lot of our people are going to have those jobs. That's first of all.
How do you? But it has to start somewhere though, Nike, and eventually it will. Because okay, let's say he built the whole thing in the desert for this SpaceX, right? He built the whole town basically. Right. He has like a hotel and all that other stuff there for the people that are willing to. Though there are people working there. They're bus drivers driving.
But that's still not doing anything for humanitarian efforts and climate change and the whole shit. Look,
but wait a minute, you changing the subject.
No. Let me. All right, so this is the one of the topics that we was gonna go to. So since we talking about Jeff Bezos, right, I'm gonna go to it. So those different groups and organizations I've been talking about, which Jeff Bezos is a major player in all of them, just because of his, what he brings to the table as far as being able to provide, products.
Right.
So part of the Davos agenda, right, is creating a singular global economy, right? Okay.
What does that mean?
What you mean?
What is a single?
Singular means one.
Right.
Global
one economy
means all over, and economy means the buying and selling of goods.
Okay, so wait a minute, but don't we? Isn't this world already? I mean, the economy now is already one world. We trade with every country, every continent on the planet. Just about every country is involved in this economy currently. So what are they talking about doing that's different than what we're currently doing?
The exchange rates are different. The currencies is different.
So they want
to about doing it. I heard. All right, I wrote it down on my phone. Where's my phone at? So they're talking about doing away with the entire current economic system.
What does that mean? How do you do away with the current?
Let me read these quotes from.
But wait a minute. But wait a minute. Okay, but if you say something, I don't want you to say something and lose me. Then I not understand what you're saying. So as you put them out there, then let's talk about them. That first one? Doing away with this economy. What does that mean?
Doing away with the economy?
Reread that statement, please. They're talking about doing what? What was the first thing you just read?
They're talking about having one world economy.
Okay, and how was that different from what we currently have? How was that different?
Currently, we have different economic systems.
Well, no, everybody.
That's why there's. No, listen to me for a second.
Okay,
we have different economic systems. That's why there is a difference in currency and a difference in exchange rates.
No. That is not why, Terry. That is not why we have different currencies. We have different currency because every country has their own dollars. So that don't mean
that's what I just said. Every country has their own dollars, and every country's dollar is worth
part of this economy.
Worth a difference when compared to other dollars.
But listen,
most dollars are compared to the U.S. dollar.
But they're still a part of this economy. They're still a part of this one world economy.
They're different economies. They're different economies.
That is wrong. What do you mean different economies though? They still have to be involved.
Look up the definition, Stace. They are all different economies now. We don't live under one economy right now. The U.S. has its own economy. Russia has its own economy. China has its own economy. The UK has its own economy.
But everybody trades. Everybody trades with each other, though, right? But don't we all trade with each other? But this is the question. But let me ask a question though. But don't we all trade with each other?
We do.
But then if I'm trading with you,
that's where the exchange rate comes in. That's what I was just talking
the
about.
exchange rate is just the way that you make the dollars equal. My dollar is worth more than yours.
Because they're coming from two economic systems. If I'm paying you and you get paid in francs, if I'm paying you and I'm paying you in dollars, my dollars is worth more than your francs.
Okay, but then let me ask you this tonight. What would you say if all the other countries on the planet decided, okay, you know what, this is too difficult, and some of them do. This is my question though. I got a question for you, Knight. Right now, the United States is the dominant economy. Do you agree with that? We're the dominant. What's the word I'm looking for? Our economy is the largest. Our GDP is the largest. China. No, but the largest. Our GDP is bigger than anybody else's. Okay. Well, let me ask you this then, because most other countries out there accept dollars. In most countries, you can go to their country and pay in dollars, right? So what if every country out there said, no, this is my question tonight. What if, to prevent all of that, all of the countries agree, you know what, we're going to get rid of all of our currencies, and we're going to all start accepting dollars and get rid of all of our currencies? Would that be a good or bad thing? If every other country got rid of their currencies, they got rid of all of their dollars and everything that they use for their own, and started taking the greenback and our change and started exchanging with the dollars that we use, would that be a positive or a negative? Would that make things easier?
It would make things easier for the corporations. Right. It would make.
Would it make things easier for you?
1 second. You asked me a question, and then when I try to answer, you talk all over me. Okay. Give me a second to answer.
I got you.
You asked me if that's better or worse, right?
Right.
That would be worse. It depends. Well, first of all, it would be better for the corporations, right? Because they don't have to do the exchange rate. They get
who would it be worse for?
They get paid for every transaction,
correct,
right? So they don't have to pay. They don't have to lose money on it from the exchange rate.
That's so who would it be worse for?
It would be worse for the people who now their economy doesn't. Their money is fractional compared to the U.S. and the UK and China. So those companies. Let me read you a quote. This is from H.M. Queen Maxima of the Netherlands. This is the Queen of the Netherlands. She's the UN Secretary of Finance. She said, it's going to take a long time before people in Africa will be able to access this currency from a feature phone. Because she said that since Africa, most of those countries in Africa are poor, they don't have smartphones. They have what's thing called feature phones.
Okay.
So if they change to this new singular currency, it's going to be like sort of like Bitcoin, right? It'll be its own currency, right? That's used globally. Like right. It'll be like Bitcoin.
Okay.
She says that 60% of the people in Africa have these feature phones and will not be able to afford to purchase this digital currency. So that's 60% of the people in Africa who just get. So they starting from behind.
See, but Knight, but like they did with the euro though, Knight. Because they did this in Europe. In Europe, every country had its own currency, and they decided, like the United States of America, to all switch over to the euro to use the same currency. Now they had issues with that later, but if you have $50 and 20 some other form of currency, you trade your other currency in and you get the same value of that in dollars. So the money that you have doesn't go away. It's converted.
It's converted, but it's converted to shit. If I go over to Nigeria and I have 100 or whatever they call their money,
power is not decreased. Your purchasing power, when you travel, your
purchasing power absolutely decreases.
No, it doesn't. Terry, decreases. You are $100
in the U.S. is not compatible or comparable to $100, let's say, in Angola.
I know that, but what I'm saying, though, Terry, is that it's converted to whatever the exchange rate is. $100 in dollars might be worth 50 euros. So, but what I'm saying is you don't lose value. You still don't lose value. Any money that you have, you bring it in and it's converted to whatever the new currency is. But do you understand
that if we go to a global economy, if you have 100 American dollars, it's more than likely that the global economy is going to give you 100 of whatever tokens.
No, it will be converted, Nike. It will be converted to the equal value. They're not going to say that's like
to
saying,
the equal value. Listen, Stace, they're not going to give you $100 in US. They're not going to give you $100 in US money, and then somebody from Angola give me 100 of those that Angolan money, and then they're going to get the same amount of tokens, of digital tokens as I do. That's right. It's not going to work that way. They're already saying it. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Converted.
From Glenn
H. Hutchins. We're going to roll on.
Wait, let me finish.
Okay.
From Glenn H. Hutchins, from Silver Lake Partners. That's one of those corporations that I was telling you about. The new regulatory model, we will need a new regulatory model because currently 80 to 90% of all organized crime use the $100 bill.
Right.
Because they're untraceable and used for tax evasion. All the new digital currency has blockchain, which leaves a footprint that is permanent and audible.
Right. So they're talking about the black market. Now, somebody said to me, Nike, just a little correction. The United States is the largest GDP and China is second. So that's a fact. That is a fact. But so again, but Nike, what you just explained though, Terry, was basically flushing out the black market. Is that a negative?
It's not just the black market, Stace. It's not just the black market.
Yeah, no, but Terry, what I was saying though is that I don't think it's a negative if all of my initial question to you is if all of the other countries decided to change over to dollars, I think that'll be a positive because now when I go over to Europe, it might not be dollars. I'm using that as an example. I'm saying one single currency doesn't necessarily have to be a negative because that means if I go to any other country, whatever I have in my bank account, I don't have to worry about an exchange rate. All financial transactions would happen
with one currency with one. You good with one currency, which means that there's one entity controlling it. So if you have an issue,
absolutely, you haven't explained to me why that would be a negative. You haven't told me why that would be negative.
Okay, let's say we real brothers, right? And we're activists. And let's say that I say something that's offensive to one of those companies. So if there's only one entity controlling that money or my digital currency, they can flip a switch and stop my whole shit.
I got a surprise for you, Nike. Let me tell you something. They could do that now, dog. They could shut your whole thing down. They could cut off all. Can't they do that now? All your credit cards, your whole financial situation. Can't they shut it all down now?
They can.
Oh, well, then there's no difference, right?
But I got cash.
But not. Well, you know what though? But again, the fact still remains that if they want to shut your whole thing down, they could do it. You might got a couple dollars in cash, but the majority of your funds are in a bank somewhere protected, right? Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, and a couple.
There you go. Okay, my point exactly. The reason why I'm saying this, Terry, because I think we sometimes get so caught up in, taking things that are said and taking it all the way to the extreme and not thinking about the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Just that one currency. Can there be some negatives to it? Yes. But is it all negative? No. I think too few. Like already, the 1% has control of everything we do. See, now you're going to the 1%.
When we go to a world economy with one global world currency, come on, that's giving total control
to completely change
a few people, and that's madness, Stace. That never goes well. But you just said
that they could do it now, Terry. But you just said they could do it now. You just said that. You just said it. You just said they could do it now. You just agreed that they could shut down your whole financial situation at any time. You just said that. They could turn off your driver's license. What
to do with what I was just saying?
But because if that's what someone wanted to do, the ability already exists for them to do that. So all I'm saying, Nike, is that when we
so you're okay with one entity having complete financial global power over everything?
I see, but I disagree with the premise of what you just said. I disagree that it's one entity controlling everything. I disagree with the premise of that. So I can't say, I can't speak on that one or the other. Let me see.
What do you think one world currency is?
Let's include this in. One world currency is one step away from the world government. Nobody wants that. China already has the state-run crypto.
So you saying you crypto. Good with that though, right?
No, but you're talking about one world government. No, that's completely different.
That's the same thing. It's the same thing. It is the same thing.
When they talk about one currency, Terry, that has nothing to do with getting rid of the government that governs your country. That's just your form.
They're talking about having one government, Stace. One government. One world government, one world currency, all together. They're trying to merge everything together.
That's a different conspiracy theory right there, dog.
It's not a conspiracy.
That's a different conspiracy
right there. You didn't do your homework. You were supposed to look up the Davos
did.
Agenda.
I read that. I didn't read the whole thing, but I looked it up now. We got one more subject.
Did you see Vladimir Putin on there?
We got 5 minutes. Are we gonna hit the last topic?
Wait, did you see Vladimir Putin on there?
On the video?
Yeah.
No.
Did you see Trump on there?
No, I don't know if I saw that one. No.
Did you see the boy from Denmark from there? I forget his name. Wait, you saying you seen it?
I saw the video with the king on it.
Huh?
I saw the video with the king on it. Then I looked at the agenda for that meeting. The agenda for that meeting.
And but I'm saying it's like 20 videos with different leaders.
I went to the source. I looked at the source. Listen, Nike. I looked at the agenda of the Davos meeting. The agenda.
Right.
Not videos of some other
just by looking at the agenda, you got to go inside to the actual meeting and listen to what they're saying.
Okay.
Bill Gates. He's another one. Bill Gates was in there.
So are we gonna do this last joint? We beat this joint. We beat this joint to death. We got the last
didn't even
one.
Answer the question. Are you prepared?
We did. That's when we started.
Oh, you ain't prepared, and I'm prepared. I forget. That's right. I
remember that because you will be able to shoot 30 people, and I can't. So you're right. All right. 2021. The look back, or in this instance, this is the last show of the year. Look back or look forward. What's going on? What you got with that, Nike? 2021.
2021.
I wrote down something. And actually, it called me the optimist, but I didn't want to spend the whole time thinking about the negatives because that's real easy. I look at the positives from, or some of the positive that just came to mind from where we were. I look at there weren't as many deaths as it related to COVID ever since we came out with the vaccine versus where we were when this thing first started. I think now we have a better understanding on how to fight it. We now have tools in order to mitigate, the spreading of the disease. So again, as I look back at 2021, I think that it was an improvement from 2020 because 2020 we were just running scared. Okay, so that was one thing,
right?
And again, just now as far as looking forward, again, I think that, and I hope that we will continue on that trajectory as far as making improvements and strides as it relates to this virus. So then, therefore, we can continue to drive down the death rate, hospitalization, and everything else as it relates to COVID. I look forward to the year as far as the health of my family and friends. And I look, I just look forward. I just look forward to the next year. Like I always look forward to, to what's coming up next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I look forward to 2022. And when I look back at 2021, it wasn't all negative.
I just want to say that I feel actually blessed from 2021. We got this podcast off the ground.
That's right, yeah.
We gotten, well, I got enlightened about about a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? I took the red pill in 2021. So you know what I mean? Now hopefully that we can keep spreading good information in 2022. Then we got some other things that we're working on, like our merchandise, and we got some other stuff planned. It wouldn't be, I can't go into a lot of different stuff now, but Real Brothers got some stuff planned down the pike. And I think 2022 is going to be cool. But with 2021, man, I grew a lot in 2021. You know
so,
what I mean? Go ahead.
So I have a question. The fact that you took the red pill, is that a positive or a negative? You took the enlightened pill.
Yeah. It's a positive because I can see what's going on, right? But it's a negative, I feel like, because it makes it's hard to communicate what you see to other people who can't see what you can see. You get what I mean? So it's like just say for instance, I had a third eye. I'm looking at my third eye, which gives me a different, like, let's say I can see in HD, right? And the people around me, they still only looking with their two eyes, right? And they seeing, but they not seeing clear. They're not seeing in HD.
They don't see what you see. They don't see what you see, or they don't share your. They don't share your. They don't share your enthusiasm as far as what you see and your concern.
Not my enthusiasm. They don't see
your concern, your
patterns.
passion.
They don't see the patterns. Like for instance, like everything. What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is what?
But a person that, when I say they don't share your passion, what if they see that it's a problem, but they don't talk about it? They only talk about it once a month, but they're still trying to do what they can to eke out a living and to survive, like you are. But they don't talk about it every day. I mean, so again, they don't share your passion. It doesn't mean that they don't see it or they're not living it, right?
It's not even about sharing the passion. It's more about, like, so my whole thing is people need to wake up to what's going on around them and kind of get out of the rat race a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I work too. I work every day, just like everybody else.
Race.
You know what I'm
We're
saying?
all in the rat race, right? We're all in the rat race.
Right. But
so
sometimes
what separates?
You gotta step back from the rat race and see what's going on. Like,
so what makes you think they're not? What makes you think they don't see?
Here's a good analogy, right? We all right now are like rats going through the maze, right?
Right.
Rats going. They put a piece of cheese down, and we're gonna find that cheese. We're gonna go through this maze and find the cheese, right? Bang! We got the cheese. We got the cheese. We good.
Right.
But see, what about that rat that recognizes that, wait, I'm in a maze. I can go right over here and get some cheese. You get what I'm saying?
No.
There's the rats in the rat race trying to get the cheese, and they going through this maze, this long ass maze, right? And then you got rats who recognize that they're in a maze. So they're not going to go in the maze. They're going to go around the maze and just go straight to get the cheese.
So you saying that you on the Nebuchadnezzar? You on the little ship in the movie because you took the red pill. You on the Nebuchadnezzar, and everybody else is still in the Matrix, and you're not. You in the rat race with everybody
else.
Right?
No, there's a lot of people who are awakened like I am.
Right.
We vibe on the same plane. You know what I mean? We connect on a different we vibrate on the same frequency. You know what I mean?
The problem is that there are too many people that are still in the rat race with you. Because we're all in the rat race, right? You're still in it. You didn't unplug from it. You're still in the rat race, right?
Yeah, but I didn't unplug from it. But I recognize where I am.
What my question was, though, what makes you think those people don't recognize they're in a rat race? Because they don't talk about it? What makes you think they don't realize that they're in a rat race?
Well, they're not doing anything about it, are they? Or are they?
Like what? What can they be doing? Talking about it? What?
Yeah, you have to talk about it in order for you to learn what's going on. Yeah. Or spreading the information. You know what I mean? So are you just saying that people should be happy in their existence?
No.
I'm saying they should just go ahead and you saying that people should just be grateful that they got what they got. Like, you know what I mean?
Who said that? Who said anything about be grateful?
I'm just saying, I'm asking.
No, the answer to that question is no. I didn't say that, nor did I imply that. What I'm trying to get at is, what makes you, because somebody's not out there talking about it every day like you, that doesn't mean that they don't realize that they're in the same rat race with you. They're in it. They're living it just like you are. They respond to it differently. They don't talk about it every day, but they're in it and they're fighting and they're in their own way. But we all don't do things the same. So it doesn't mean that they don't realize that they're in a rat race, So I think that everyone, supposed to be, everyone does things the way that they're programmed to do. Some people talk,
and that's exactly my point. People need to be unprogrammed or reprogrammed.
You use that word program. Let's see, no.
You said that. You brought that word up.
I don't mean programmed by the system.
And that's exactly right. People need to be reprogrammed.
I don't mean programmed by the system, Mike. I don't mean programmed by the system. I mean the way they're wired, the way that they internalize.
The way they're wired is programmed by the system.
You done changed the whole thing. All right, so
you said that. You brought it up, and I just agreed with you.
Okay,
yeah, you are correct.
I got you. All right. So is in closing, night. It's 10 after. What you got in closing, man? What you got in closing? Like, don't forget, this is the last one as we go into the new year.
Oh, this is the last one. All right, so we got a happy new year, and happy holidays to everybody. This is the last show for our year. We appreciate everybody who's taken part and who's supported us and tuned in and giving us encouraging words and joined our group and just everything, man. We really appreciate y'all, and we're doing the best to try to wake our people up, and let them know what's really going on out here. And like I said, we're trying to build our digital neighborhood and touch as many people as we can in order to make a difference for our people. So in closing, for our 2021 last show, I just want to reiterate, me and God is here. Thank you, God, is in here. And once again, I just want to reiterate that love is the new black. That's going to be my shit for 2022.
Nice.
Love is the new black.
All right. So I just want to say, echo what Terry said. Thank everybody for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We hope you picked up something, even if you disagreed with something. The whole goal is to provoke thought, provoke conversation. As you see, me and Terry might argue, and sounds like we fussing. I mean, he's wrong most of the time, but that's cool because I'm a brother. But it's nothing wrong with disagreeing. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. We are still busted up, but
hey, sometimes our listeners gonna have to put on the 10 hat with me just so they can so they can understand.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I say that.
But like I said, I always say this too. Don't just take my word for it. If you hear something discussing something,
look it up.
Just
look it up.
Look it up. And then make up your own mind. You don't
have
to agree with me.
So in closing,
you can make up your own.
This is my closing. How you gonna bust it on my joint?
Oh, all right, man. It's 2021, man.
He like,
I want the last word on 2021.
Yeah. All right. So again, y'all, we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you saw yourself in one of these positions. Also, you know what, Nike? I want to encourage people also to send possible topics. If it's something that you would like to see us kick around or join in, send it, and we'll try to work it in, because this is what this is all about. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. You can catch us on all of the major platforms. So again, thank you all for joining in, and happy holidays to everyone, and happy New Year's. Peace.
Happy New Year, y'all. Don't turn up too much. Love y'all. All right, bye.